Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the White Album 2 Fan Club Radio. This is a radio show put on by the voice actresses of Kazusa and Setsuna, respectively. They give a lot of insight into different things about the anime and, of course, the original game, their views on the characters and their actions, as well as, some insight into their own lives in Japan as well. So, let's go ahead and begin White Album 2, Radio Episode 81, starting with the analysis of the overall episode. This is a lively episode with Noriyaki Tsugiyama, the voice of Chikashi Hayasaka, as its guest. The conversation flows freely and easily, thanks in no small part to Tsugiyama's willingness to keep pace and play along. As a result, the listener is given interesting insights into both the story side and the industry side of White Album 2. Which is what's so nice about the radio show, because yes, we want to hear about the story of WA2. But getting some behind the scenes information, like the industry, is what makes it really interesting. So Chikashi Hayasaka is the black-haired friend from the introductory chapter. He was kind of the one who was talking to Haruki about the action committee and about getting Setsuna in on things. And him and Haruki didn't used to get along. But after Haruki helped him through the school festival and the sports aspects, before the game actually started, they became very good friends. So he's a cool character. Like Tsuguo Mogami, the guest for episode 84, who is Setsuna's dad, Tsugiyama portrays a secondary character, but the relationships of their respective characters to the main story contrast greatly. While Mogami's character, Susumu Ogiso, is a parent of one of the three main characters, a guardian and authority figure with a direct personal investment in their relationship, Chikashi is their peer, a classmate of their same age. He exists in the same space with them on an almost daily basis, but does not have any involvement by default with the ins and outs of the triangle. Even so, he has his place. And thank God for side characters, because honestly, we need some perspective. We need people outside of this triangle. It is not a very healthy place to be. A concept that comes up in this episode, and indeed in several other episodes, as an essential component of the story, is balance through contrast. The balance between Setsuna and Kazusa as the two main girls, the balance between Haruki's relationships with each of them, even the balance between Susumu and Akina Ogiso, which is Setsuna's parents, that allows their marriage to work. Perhaps the most successful balance in the story. Ooh, that's an interesting opinion. I do think they're very healthy. The contrast Tsugiyama initially brings up in his assessment of Chikashi as a character is between Haruki's tendency to mull things over before expressing his thoughts and Chikashi's bluntness. Which, you shouldn't be super blunt. You shouldn't mull things over too much. You should try to find a balance in between. As he points out, the story of White Album 2 runs on characters and performances that are natural rather than exaggerated. No, actually, I disagree with this opinion. This was the opinion of Chikashi's voice actor, by the way. They're very exaggerated. Are you kidding me? The love they feel for Haruki is exaggerated. Some of the things that they do and say are just crazy. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I think they're pretty exaggerated. So, even with Chikashi's status as something of a comedic character, he isn't completely out of place. His contrasts with Haruki are worth mentioning by name, even though he isn't on the same tier, so to speak, as Haruki. Tsugiyama describes putting particular effort into the way he performed Chikashi, reining himself in when he felt inclined to exaggerate something, in order to achieve this, to make the most of the natural style that he considers one of the series' greatest strengths. It's kind of like slice of life, I guess, like every day at the school, regular relationships, I get that. but I do think the characters are pretty exaggerated. I mean, Kazusa's, the genius pianist daughter of a internationally renowned musician. Setsuna's like this crazy school idol, and they both fall in love with a boring, dumb guy. Like, it's a little bit exaggerated. As a result, Chikashi is, to borrow Hitomi Nabatame's term, an oasis. Hitomi Nabatame being Kazusa's voice actress. A source of welcome levity in the midst of the deep, serious story surrounding the three main characters, without being a sore thumb. Chikashi's interpersonal merits are also an important point. As blunt as he is, his realism as a character means that he isn't overly abrasive, and Nabatame notes that he looks more closely at people than one would expect. He isn't clueless or altogether detached, which is true. I really, really like, if you go back to the introductory chapter again the second time, and also this is mentioned in some of the side stories, Chikashi kind of protecting and comforting Kazusa after the concert, because Haruki and Setsuna had run off, and so then it's Chikashi chatting with Kazusa. That was so nice. He's not clueless, he knows what's going on, he knows Kazusa likes Haruki, but he doesn't, try to form a really strong bond with her either. He's just kind of the classmate that cares and chats with her a bit. One of the letters read from the episode, from frequent writer Borderman, mentions Chikashi realizing that Haruki and Kazusa have been staring at each other. Even without a deep personal involvement in the relationship, he has an awareness. That same letter also brings up the appeal his personality gives him as a friend. The fans of the series are just as cognizant and appreciative of Chikashi's value beyond simple comic relief as the members of the cast are. The discussion of the Kansai dialect is an interesting branch. Which is funny because Kansai is a region in Japan. Osaka is the most famous area there. And they have a different accent than the rest of Japan. So in translation, usually if it's translated to English, any character with a Kansai dialect will be given a deep southern accent from the US. So that's kind of the equivalent of it in Japanese. Basically, they use some words that are different than other words in Japanese, and it's really cute. To begin, the fact that two separate letters bring up Chikashi's scant use of it reminded me a bit of Borderman's reference to Chikashi's sideburns when submitting sideburns as a keyword for the poetry segment in episode 85, as another example of how the little things leave an impression and draw interest. Having to work in different accents and dialects is practically a given for voice actors, which, by the way, is amazing. And with Japanese in particular, different dialects can sometimes sound like different languages altogether. Very true. Very difficult to travel if you are not very good at Japanese. Tsugiyama mentions that the dialect wound up demanding more retakes than his performance itself. It is not surprising that he is at a bit of a loss when the second letter asks him to give a demonstration of Chikashi using it. But he asks the native speaker at hand, Madoka Yonezawa, for an example, like a professional, and even goes along with the silliness of producing Madoka Yonezawa segment introduction right afterward, making certain to confirm a particular unique sentence before he gives it a shot. Which is cute. And Madoka Yonezawa, that's Setsuna's voice actress. And she is from the Kansai region. So it's not portrayed in the anime. In the anime, she's using regular, typical Tokyo dialect, Tokyo accent. But if she slips into herself, yes, she has that Kansai dialect. And very cute. The Let's Dub in Some Chatter segment following this one brings Tsugiyama into the role of expert, and amid all its trial and error, gives valuable insight into the importance of background voices and the work required for them. The nature of background chatter is such that most consumers of a given piece of media won't notice it much. This is, in fact, the aim, as demonstrated by instructions not to make anything stand out too loudly, not to mention any brand names, very important, not to do anything that would detract attention from the main focus of the scene. Earlier on in the episode, Nabatame brings up a somewhat paradoxical struggle, especially for newer voice actors. When it comes to chatter, those performing it are essentially free to do whatever they like, but the lack of a script can actually leave some feeling stuck, unsure what to do. Which is really true, and this is the reason I think the radio show is so impressive, is they do have somewhat of a script, right? They have, all right, now we're going to do this segment on fan letters, now we're going to discuss this scene. But other than that layout, they are not following a script for this radio show. They just have to be fun, they have to be themselves, they have to fill their time with just chatter. And that can be really hard, but they do such a good job at it. I love it so much. So, to avoid this problem, during the segment under Tsugiyama's direction, the three presenters plot out their characters and motivations in advance, but some of their attempts still go far from smoothly. That even veteran voice actors have to put this much thought and work into background chatter demonstrates both how difficult and how essential it is. Paying closer attention to it from time to time, as the presenters recommend at the end of the segment, could certainly prove worthwhile to those interested. On the whole, we would call this a well-balanced episode. While it is not as long as some other episodes, it doesn't feel rushed, or as though there are any glaring gaps in the discussion, and the talk flows well from segment to segment without any jarring transitions. Which, even if it was like kind of a sudden transition, all the segments in the radio show are interesting, so it would be like, okay, well, let's move on and do this. Nabatame, Yonezawa, and Tsugiyama evidently all sincerely hope that the latter will be able to return as a guest for a future episode. And although it ultimately was not to be, oh no, spoiler, nah, the radio show is ended and he never came back. We don't doubt that the listeners at the time felt the same. Oh, I miss the White Album 2 radio show. They did get their copyright renewed, but it hasn't come back yet, so I don't know that it will. So, this is the White Album 2 radio episode 82 script. Setsuna, Kazusa. White Album 2 Fanclub Radio. Todokanai Koi plays in the background. Alright, let's get started. Hello everyone. I'm Madoka Yonezawa, the voice of Setsuna Ogiso. Hello everyone, I'm Hitomi Nabatame, the voice of Kazusa Toma. And this is our 81st Fan Club radio broadcast, isn't it? Wow, we've done that many already? 81. Oh, that's the agency. Yes, I just wanted to say it. The agency you belong to. Instead of saying it in Japanese. Fair enough. 81 episodes is a lot. White Album 2 obviously is a longer game. There's a lot of content. But the fact that there was enough to go on for 81 episodes, and this is not even the last episode of the series, that's a lot. That just shows how dedicated the White Album 2 fans really are. More importantly, it's March 14th. Oh, right. Oh, it's White Day. Yes. Now, I gave out handmade gifts, but no one gave me anything back. Handmade gifts? Oh. So, just in case you're not aware, in Japan, on Valentine's Day, February 14th, it's girls that give out things to guys. Chocolates, little handmade gifts sometimes, I guess. And then on White Day, 1 month later, March 14th, if you got a gift from a girl, you're supposed to give her something back. Traditionally, it's something white chocolate, white ribbon, that kind of thing. So for Hitomi to not get anything back is very sad. I gave homemade chocolates too. Well, just in case the gentlemen of the world have forgotten. Today is the day to give cash. That's right, cash will do just fine. Exactly. Today is the day. I wish I got cash on White Day. If you don't have anything else ready, all you have to do is open your wallet. But also, it's graduation season. Right. Yes. I feel like the number of people wearing hakama has increased in the past few years. Oh, you're right. At graduation ceremonies, which is true. Japan takes graduation ceremonies very, very seriously. Not just high school and university, but also like daycare graduation, kindergarten graduation, elementary school graduation. Very, very big deals. And they dress up in these very, very intricate outfits like kimono, hakama, anything that's traditional. The girls usually get way more dressed up. The guys just wear a suit and tie, which is cute, but doesn't require as much effort. The image in my head is more, of people dressed up in their fanciest clothes, right? But I feel like what I see more lately are hakama. I think my notion was that people would wear furisode for coming-of-age ceremonies and hakama more for graduation. Furisode is like a very, very fancy kimono. You might have seen them. They have the fur neck to them. You should definitely Google pictures. They're very beautiful. Hakama is slightly less formal, but still very traditional. You think hakama? Is that what you wore then? No. I want to. I never wore hakama either. I want to wear them. Yes, yes. Is that something we can wear at this point, though? Of course. Wear whatever you want whenever you want. Why wouldn't it be? Well, I mean, furisode, for example, they're sort of associated with a certain age group, right? Right? Is there a thing like that for hakama? I don't think so. Can I go around like, hi, I'm Miss Modern? What? Miss Modern? I mean, you're free to do that. Really? Yeah. We should wear hakama sometime then. That would be so cute. They should do a little photo shoot. Go to a photo booth in an arcade and take pictures. Yeah, we should. We should do something. Some spring event. Oh, why don't we go flower viewing in hakama then? Oh my god. Flower viewing in Japan is such an important part of the springtime culture. The cherry blossoms start blooming, and then you just kind of walk through the parks and things. Some people bring picnics or food, even alcohol, because you're allowed to drink alcohol in public in Japan, and then just kind of watch the flowers. So pretty. We could just sort of meander around. Yeah? And ride in a rickshaw. That sounds nice. Around Kamakura. There's also Asakusa. Oh, if we want a rickshaw. I've never been in a rickshaw. Really? Yeah, it's like, you should. It's fun. Having a young man with bare, muscular legs. They're so funny, these Japanese rickshaws. The guys that drive them also do have the very, very muscular legs, and they're usually wearing shorts. Like shorts and a tank top because, they get sweaty, and they're in the sun usually. But they're very enthusiastic. And they're very friendly because, they want to give rides, and a lot of them talk to tourists and stuff too. So they are very, very enthusiastic men. They tout like crazy. Hop in, hop in. Oh, right, yeah. They really tried to reel me in Kyoto. Huh, but I never actually rode in one. They're a little expensive too, to be fair. Right, there was one time in Asakusa. It was a get-together in yukata. And we all rode in our yukata. I think I would be too distracted by the guy's bare legs. Wait, where are you looking? Why do they have to have their legs out like that? Okay, this is a little strange. They're just shorts, right? The only reason it stands out beyond guys wearing shorts like regular is because their legs are very muscular. So I guess it could be distracting, but it's not a bad thing. I mean, they're not wearing anything like hot pants or leggings. Well, Apparently I'm the only one not looking, so I wouldn't know. Are you a stealth perv, Yone-chan? Oh god, no, Naba-san, you're so creepy. No, it's you, you're creepy. Yes, it's me. Oh, they're cute. This is what I mean. This has nothing to do with White Album 2, but it's so cute and so funny. And because it's the voice actresses of Kazusa and Setsuna, I really like to imagine it's them and that they're friends and they're having friendly banter together. But even knowing that, they're not probably this level of friends, depending on the storyline, just the fact that the voice actresses get along is really, really cute and fun. We don't need to be talking about this. Right. Our guest for this episode is Noriyaki Tsugiyama-san, the voice of Chikashi Hayasaka. Yes. You've sent in all sorts of questions, so this should be fun. Now, let's get going. White Album 2, Fanclub Radio, begin. This program is sponsored by Aquaplus. White Album 2, Fanclub Radio. Nena Uehara's new album, Emergence, includes the theme songs from White Album 2 and Tears to Tiara 2. Emergence by Rena Uehara. Out now. White Album 2, Fanclub Radio. Now, without further ado, let's welcome our guest. Our guest this week is Noriyaki Tsugiyama-san. Hello. I'm Noriyaki Tsugiyama, and I played the role of Chikashi Hayasaka. Yay! Thanks for being here. Thank you. It's weird saying the C there because we've never seen him before. He's a good guy, though. This is your first appearance. Yes, my first. Welcome. My first time at 81. Well, not 81. Right. On the 81st episode. Yes. For me, I think it's been since the White Album 2 closing party. Yeah, maybe around there. Yeah. It's been a while, and the fact that they get to kind of meet up again, because once you're done a project, especially in this kind of industry, you might go your separate ways. There's no guarantee you'll end up in the same game or the same anime again. So the fact that the radio show is kind of like a reunion for people who used to work together is really cool. Maybe around there? Yeah. Well, since open recording ended. Yeah. Right? Right. We've seen each other a bit. And with Naba-san, now and then, you see each other now and again. Now and then on other projects. Yeah. Sometimes if we both got roles. Right. Our roles are never really especially involved with each other. You're right. True. Right, there's that. I mean, even in White Album 2, you don't really interact. Right. I feel like we barely talk at all. Even when I'm working with Tsugiyama-san, our roles don't interact much. They don't. Wow. Now that I think about it, we don't talk. But I really like the interaction between Kazusa and Chikashi. It was a really good interaction. It was a solid interaction. But that was the only time they ever spoke. We don't. It's actually kind of weird how little we talk. If we're on the same project, we'll say, see you later, see you next week, good work today. But we don't converse. Right. But from a script standpoint, we don't ever interact, I feel like. Maybe so. Huh. I don't think I have any image in my recollection of us interacting. Me neither. Right, because their interaction was only depicted in the side story, White Album 2, when we go back. It was, I believe it was Stories Beneath the Stage, was the specific book, or the drama CD, in which they actually talked. They had a conversation. But in the main game, trying to think about it, I don't think they actually had a conversation. That's funny. Yeah. If you think about it. Yeah. Life's little mysteries. Huh. Yeah, for sure. Oh, so Yone-chan. Yes. What kind of image do you have of Sugiyama-san? My image of him? Yeah. Is someone who knows a ton about computers and machines. All right. I see it. Yeah. Same for me. Like, your older brother who knows all about technology. Yes, yes, yes. No, no. Actually, when we were recording White Album 2. Uh-huh. Yeah? Recording for the anime, I had my iPhone. Ooh, they're dropping a brand name. Yeah. And no idea what to do with it, and I remember asking him a bunch of questions. Oh, I guess there was some talk about your iPhone since you just switched to a new one. Right, that was it. I remember you showing it off to me. Right. Yes, you really helped me out. Not at all. Seriously, when it comes time for me to buy my next computer, I'm contacting Sugiyama-san. Yeah. It isn't anything that big. It's funny to imagine him like, he's like, I know nothing. I know nothing about computers. Please don't call me. Come on. Just, something hasn't been working right lately. Yeah, I'll come to you with all this stuff. How do I fix it? Just some advice like that. Yeah, I've asked a lot of questions. Huh. In the studio. Right. Computers, huh? With that stuff. Uh-huh. I always think, if something happens, I've got Sugiyama-san. He can fix it. It really isn't like that, but anyway. This poor guy, they're just taking like a small thing that happened and just running with it. He's like, I'm really not good at computers. Computers are tricky. Yeah. Oh, also, Sugiyama-san, your blog has been full of cat photos lately. Yes. Right, I looked at it recently. Yeah. Uh-huh. And there were loads of cats. Pictures of animals in general, actually. Wait. How frequently are you uploading these cat pictures? Look, at the beginning, I kind of slacked a lot, so I wasn't able to update all that often. Uh-huh. Maybe once, twice a month. I guess there are times when I do more. And it's mostly pictures of stray cats and things. Yeah. Then how many do you own? I don't own any cats. Stray cats aren't even that common in Japan. I mean, you'll see a few from time to time, but I feel like compared to America, I see far fewer stray cats here because they're usually taken care of. If you find a stray cat, there's animal control. They'll come and pick it up and bring it to where it needs to go. Oh, you don't? I really want to, but I don't. Then you're a cat person? Yes, I am. We've got one. Cats are the best. Yes, cats. We've got another cat person. Cats are just so adorable. Doesn't Daichu-san also love cats? Daichu-san is Haruki's voice actor. Yeah, Daichu definitely has them. Yeah. And so does Naba-san. Yep. When will they ever find another bird person? Oh. Bird person? Like, Yonezawa-san, Setsuna's voice actor, liking birds, I feel like is really fitting for her. One, because birds sing. Two, because birds are, often kept in a cage and kind of stuck and trapped. And for a lot of the storyline, I feel like, that's kind of Setsuna. That's really fitting. I do like that. I don't think you're going to find more bird people. I wasn't listening super carefully right now, and I just went, wait, bird people? I wasn't expecting that. Birds, though. When it comes to that dispute, it's generally cats versus dogs. Yeah. Birds don't come into it. Listen, though, Sugiyama-san. Uh-huh. Just try having a parrot. You can say I talked you into it. They're so cute. A parrot? so you can take that out of its cage? Take it out and play with it around the house? Yes, you can. Wow. They talk. They talk very loud. Kinako-chan, I love you. You taught it to say that? Yes, I did. Oh my god. I want a bird that says I love you. That'd be so cute. So they really can learn. They can. I'm home and stuff like that. When I get home, he always goes, I'm home. Uh-huh. And when I wake up, he says, good morning. Oh my god. Ohio. I want a little bird that talks to me. Although the talking, is definitely cute, but I've heard that birds can be kind of difficult. Really? I think a cat is probably more work, so if you want a pet, start with a bird. Get a bird. Start with a bird. You heard it here first, folks. Start with a bird. Yes, start with a bird. But you can't have that and a cat at the same time. Right. Yeah, you definitely can't have both of them together. So should we start talking about White Album 2 now? Yes. Which I think is the perfect place for us to stop for today. So, we didn't even get to talk about White Album 2 today, but we did get to chat with the characters, the voice actors, and actresses. So, thanks so much for joining me on this episode of the White Album 2 radio show, and I'll be back with the next part of this episode shortly. So until then, hope you take care. See you!